Most of my investments are all in the Midwest.
Got it.
I do that for a number of reasons, but primarily the price point.
Right.
I can find a house for $100,000, $200,000. It's profitable. It cash flows.
Welcome back to the Cash Flow Podcast, the podcast where we talk about turning properties into profits. I'm your host, Jason Yas. Today, my guest is Brittany Nicola. Brittany, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited to talk to you about because I think you've got a wealth of experience that a lot of our listeners and guests are going to want to hear more about. Okay. So I want to dive right in. Talk to me a little bit about your background. How'd you get into the real estate space?
Whoa. How did I get into real estate? This is a loaded question. But we have all the champagne, so
Bubbly's
let's go.
going to make this so much
Yes.
better.
Yes.
I know you're a realtor with EXP. I know you've been doing this a while, but talk to me about getting in this niche, especially your investing.
Yeah. Well, we'll kind of backtrack a little bit. I got into real estate about 10 years ago.
Right.
Before that, I've always been in outside sales, marketing. 10 years ago, brought my family from Nebraska to California and actually suffered a tragic, I don't know if you want to call it accident, but I lost a child when I was 7 months pregnant, and everything just kind of started to unravel at that point.
Right.
Quit my job, and months went by, financial issues came up.
Sure.
My marriage was unraveling. Everything was in disarray. And long story short, a friend of mine who you actually know and was on the podcast approached me and said, Britt, you need to get in real estate. Like, we have a need for you and your personality. Come work with us.
Got it.
And I was at a stage in my life where I was like, I need to fucking do something.
Right.
I was slowly drowning in my own anxieties and my own fears. And so I jumped head first. What they needed at the time was an ISA, which is an inside sales agent.
Okay.
So I did the majority of the scheduling, the relationship building, everything. I would build those relationships, and then as soon as those buyers or sellers, those leads, wanted to buy or sell, I would hand them over to real estate agents.
Got it.
Quickly realized that, one, I had a gift, and two, I was doing all the hard work, and they were making all the money. So, sorry, Kelly Gilson.
I love you, Kelly, by the way.
Yes,
and your
we
hair
do.
is looking good, too,
We
by the
do
way,
love
Kelly.
and Danny very much.
Yeah.
But at that point, I got licensed, and I just hit the ground running.
Right.
And I haven't looked back. It's been 10 years, and I absolutely love real estate. I love the opportunity that it provides to me
Right.
and to other people, and that's where we're at.
Talk to me about that shift between, okay, I'm a realtor, I'm working with by referrals and friends and family and things like that, into, hey, the investment gig is better for me, better for my family, better for my pocketbook.
Yeah. Well, like we've discussed previously, real estate's amazing. However, I was an ISA and I was great at it. It's not the end all be all for me.
Sure.
I don't have the bandwidth, the capacity, nor the desire to sit there and call. They say speed to lead, 5 minutes, you need to call.
Right.
I don't want to be attached to my phone in that capacity. And that's what it takes in order to have a consistent, predictable business as a real estate agent. And as a single mom of two, it doesn't work for me. So that's why I'm pivoting a little bit and kind of transitioning more into the investing side of things, because I can take full control of everything.
The entire transaction.
Not only the transaction, but also how much money I'm going to make.
Right.
And so right now, as a real estate agent, if someone wants to buy or sell, that's wonderful.
Right.
But I can't predict that. I really don't know. There are ways that you can do that, of course. It's not my wheelhouse. It's not what I want to spend my time doing.
And talk to me about, especially the background you brought up. Look, single mom.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Your parents you came from money, you have tons of money, right?
No.
So being a real estate investor, what's your philosophy got to be when you're about to do this on your own?
Yeah, so that's a great question. For me, I've always been an action taker.
Right.
So I started working at 12. I had a license by 14. I was managing my household, which was just my dad and I, laundry, groceries, all of that before I entered high school. In middle school, I was literally grocery shopping, and people were like, "What the hell? How'd you get here?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. It's fine." But I'm an action taker. So as far as my investing strategy, I would say I look for deals that work for me personally.
Okay.
So I specifically buy properties on the BRRRR methodology.
Right.
So
Okay.
buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat.
Right.
And that
Absolutely.
works because I can just recycle my funds over and over and over and over again.
First of all, let me just stop you and say, to be able to say the BRRRR method and what the BRRRR stand for, that gets you gold star right there.
Oh,
okay?
thank you.
Most people can barely remember that, but that's absolutely a great method to go after it. And then number two, where are you primarily finding your deals, and what makes it work for you?
Again, great question. Most of my investments are all in the Midwest.
Got it.
I do that for a number of reasons, but primarily the price point.
Right.
I can find a house for $100,000, $200,000, and it's profitable. It cash flows. I can add value. The ARV is substantially higher. All the things make sense in the Midwest, where as opposed to California, you're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6 times the initial investment.
Not to mention it, you can swing and miss in the Midwest, the Southwest, and it's not the end of the world. You swing and miss here, and you could crumble everything you got.
Yes, that's true. Very true.
Let's talk about some of that. Do you win on every deal?
I mean, so far, yes.
Okay.
But I do want to say, you have to take risks, and you're not going to win on every deal.
Right.
In fact, I have a deal right now. I wouldn't say I'm losing, but I'm learning a lot of lessons along the way. One of them being, I need to do a little bit more due diligence on the scope of work, what exactly that entails, like going line item by line item with the contractors, and really having a plan in place as to when they're doing certain items, their phases, the completion dates, and staying on top of them. Because the longer it takes, the more your holding costs are. Right. The less spread, the less margin you're going to have on your profits.
Absolutely.
And I've made the mistake of getting a little lax on one particular project, and now it's coming back to bite me in the ass.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to lose, but I could have won bigger.
There's some learning lessons in
there are.
not hitting a home run for sure.
Yep.
And I love that. And well, let's dive into, Brittany, a deal or two. Let's talk about a best deal. Something that comes to mind, something that was pretty much a home run.
Yeah. The first one that comes to mind is a property in Nebraska.
Okay, Nebraska. Okay.
Yep, which is where I'm from.
All right.
It's right in my hometown. And this one was a home run, actually.
Okay.
It was off market, $85,000.
Nice.
Market value at that time based on the condition of the property. I purchased it all cash, put $45,000 into it, new windows, new flooring, paint, kitchen, bathrooms, you name it, I did it.
Got it.
I got a tenant in there who is paying $1,500 a month.
Wow.
And I refinanced. It appraised for $180,000, so I was able to take out every single dollar I put into it.
Nice.
And I cash flow almost $500 a month.
Wow.
And I can just keep doing that, rinse and repeat that money.
That's amazing. Was there anything unexpected that came up, or was it all just the way you just the way you saw it or envisioned it? That's the way it ended out.
Well, I would say there's always learning,
Right.
Lessons that you come across. And I would say for that particular one, that one being my first BRRRR property I've ever done.
Right.
The construction took a little bit longer. Again, the one thing I will say about investing in the Midwest, and these are my people. This is where I'm from, but they work a little bit different. It's a lot slower pace, a lot more lax. You want Photos, you're going to have to ask, quite a few times for those.
Right.
And they may not have a phone that has photo capability.
Is it difficult to work from a distance? So you're talking about the Midwest and we're out here. Yeah, there's a lot of benefits, but talk to me about the difficulty of being so far.
I mean, I think just the obvious. You can't just hop over there, just run.
Right.
I did a flip in Temecula.
Okay.
Literally in my neighborhood, and I would run there every morning and go check on it, make sure the contractors are there, see what issues have come up, because there's always something. And investing in the Midwest, out of state, that's the challenge. But if you have good crews, if you have a good management, project manager, like, you can do it from anywhere.
Got it. That's a great takeaway, because I think a lot of people are in the same position as you said. They can't afford to get their first property or even try to do BRRRR here in California.
Yeah.
So they are looking to the Midwest or out of state. A lot of people are from Arizona, from New Mexico, from the Midwest. And so they know those places well. Yeah. They could take a chance, but it's far.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, let's be honest. Get on a flight. Fly there. The Midwest, it's a 3-hour flight. It's not the end of the world. It's fully doable.
Right.
It's not that big of a challenge. Get the right crews in place, and anyone can do it.
Well, that's an amazing outcome for that type of property. What about something here in California? Talk to me about something that you've done here, whether it be in your home area, Temecula, or surrounding.
So the one that comes to mind is the one I was talking about in my neighborhood. That was also another slam dunk. It was a really unique situation. I helped a particular buyer purchase a home years ago. Okay. And he loved it. It was amazing. But he landed on hard times. Okay. He was going through a little bit of a financial crisis, maybe, if you will. And he needed out. Okay. And he's like, Brittany, I need to sell. And I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a dumpster. We're going to declutter. We're going to paint. We're going to do all these things. We're going to maximize the opportunity here and get you the most. He says, no, I can't do that. I don't have the money to do that. So I said, okay, well, I'll find you contractors that will get paid through escrow. So we can do these things. Again, maximize the opportunity here for you. He said, I need out today.
Wow.
So I said, okay, here's what your value is based on the condition of the property today. Right. I went to my investors. All of them were tied up in other projects, and they said no. And I was like, well, shit. Why don't I consider purchasing this? And that's exactly what I did. I put something on my Instagram. I said, hey, I'm looking for private investors. This is what I have. Here's the ARV, da-da-da-da-da. And somebody reached out to me and said, I have people for you.
I gotcha.
And I purchased the home. I completely rehabbed it. Okay. Top to bottom in 29 days, put it on the market.
Wow. In 29 days, you took the home from top to bottom. Is that because you knew it already so well, or what? What made you be able to gut and remodel a home in 29 days? That's efficient.
It's efficient. I'm a little bit of a hard ass. I don't know that you want to be on the receiving end of that. But, we got it done.
Yeah, we know working with Brittany, be careful because she's a little bit of a hard ass.
I just like things to be done, and I am an efficient person. Again, I fully understand the holding costs. I understand the profit margins. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but I work with investors too. So, yes, I do see what they've done, what's worked, what hasn't worked. Right. So I was able to turn it pretty quick.
That's super quick.
Yeah, we had multiple offers, sold, made a quick six figures on that one.
Let me ask you again. I mean, it doesn't seem like anything unexpected could come up, but was there anything that was better than expected, or was there any big takeaway? You're like, hey, avoid this landmine in the future, or was it just such a cloud nine pillow that it's like, hey, I'll take that all day long?
I mean, I'll take it all day long.
Right.
However, what I will say is this one was a perfect. It was just perfect. I mean, it was a great home in a great neighborhood on a great lot, had all the things that buyers are looking for. Okay. And in addition to those things, it also had a guest suite, which is very rare. So it was kind of a slam dunk.
That's amazing. Yeah. And then so total time, a couple months.
Yeah.
You sold it, you walked away with profit, and everybody was happy. Your client was happy. Yep. You were happy. Your investors were happy. I'm sure the purchasers were like, hey, we got a beautiful home.
Yeah. It looked great. Everyone was happy.
Well, that's amazing. These are some great anecdotal stories and feedback, again, for people to be able to go like, okay, I can do this. And,
Yeah.
and let me pose that question to you. What are you telling the people that, come to you for advice on their first investment, or if they want to get into the real estate investment game? Like, what kind of advice are you telling them?
I am telling them they just need to take action.
Got it.
I think that's where the majority of humans struggle in general, no matter what profession they're in, is just actually taking action. People think that they are stuck where they're at,
Right.
stuck in an unfulfilled, unhappy marriage, shitty job. Like, you're not stuck. You're not stuck. Like, we live in this world where our opportunities are boundless.
Right.
Just go out there and fucking do something.
One step at a time. Go ahead and make that change.
I mean, like, if people come to me and they say, I want to get into real estate investing, I'm like, okay, great. What are your goals?
Right.
What are your fears? What are your doubts? What limiting beliefs do you have? And like, let's get beyond those.
Right.
To the point of like, let's take action. And the first step would be find somebody that's doing what you want to be doing and literally just soak it all in.
Right.
Get in their circles, get in their network, pay for the mastermind, pay for the coaching, pay for the mentorship, and dive head first.
A lot of people don't want to do, first of all, they don't want to pay for coaching. Go figure.
Yeah.
All right. And they certainly are a little bit shy about doing the networking and the mastermind. But from what you're saying, this is a great pathway to be able to go from you don't know much about it to setting yourself on the road to be successful.
Yeah. I mean, aside from some of the obvious things, listen to the podcast, read the books, just pay attention on social media. Yeah. Get in the right rooms. That will take you from A to Z way faster.
Let me close it up with, talk to us about a challenge. Like what are some of the biggest challenges you face personally being in this space?
I think my biggest challenge is I'm only one person and I need more time. I need more of me and more time as a single mom juggling multiple, 2 kids and
beautiful dog
and a beautiful dog and my real estate career with buyers and sellers, now investing and, part of all these other little side hustles I have going on. I think the biggest challenge is managing my time.
Managing time.
Yep.
And you do have tons of side hustles, and I'm sure that, again, we'd all like to get more time. How do you stay focused?
Great question. How do I stay focused? Champagne helps. No, but seriously, I stay focused by coming back to my why.
Right.
Why I'm doing this and really connecting it to like the purpose behind it all. For me, that's my kids. I come from a lot of dysfunction, a lot of trauma. I was raised by a single dad. My mom was not in the picture at all. And there are certain things I never want my kids to experience ever. And I will do whatever it takes to avoid those things. And so when, it gets crazy, it's always crazy.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's crazy. Kids, even today was crazy, getting the kids out the door for school, getting here on time, all the things. But I know why I'm doing it all.
I love it. That's probably the most resonating answer that I've got from this. And as a single dad, having kids, like that is 100% your why. When you look at those youngsters and go like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. There's no bigger challenge than getting 2 or 3 or 4, however many you have, kids out the door on time to school, then get refocused on what you have to do to put food on the table to further your career. And then, by the end of the day, it's like, oh, now I got to go get them. They got games. They got this. They got that.
Yeah.
I've got food. So, but a lot of us have that same challenge.
Yeah.
All right. We're not the only people out here. And that isn't a hindrance. That is actually a motivator to help us get to success. So I appreciate the feedback, the willingness to be open, and the willingness to help others that are listening be able to take that first step like you have. So, Brittany, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Everybody else, thanks for tuning in to the Cash Flow Podcast, the podcast where we talk about turning properties into profits. We'll see you next time. Thank you.